Hello. Well, how do I fix this? We're not live with Lester and Jamie. Where the heck is that at? Well, edit name. There we go. I will figure out this software one of these days. Okay. I think it's finally ready. Holy moly. What a crazy little whirlwind to get started. It's okay though. It's Tuesday and I get to hang out with y'all. And well, we have lots to talk about. Let's let everybody else get connected here and we'll get started. I'm sitting here panicking about, again, what the thumbnail looks like on Facebook Facebook, because it totally, it had me connected to yesterday's live for some reason. I don't know why, but Lester's not here because it's Timeout Tuesday. It's my time. This is about me today. No, just teasing. He really isn't home. He is at Longhorn Lester's finishing up chores. So it really is just me tonight, hanging out with y'all. And Hank just jumped up on the table. He's sure to try to corrupt my live, but we'll see how that goes. I put some animals out, I let some animals in, and it's been a crazy day. Okay, well, as everyone is joining, let's go ahead and get started with our beverage, of course, because it's Tuesday. Here's the other bad thing. I left my favorite cup at Longhorn Lester's. Yeah. So, moving on to the second favorite cup, glitter. You know, what's funny is that Lester used to take this cup. This is one of the few cups that requires to be hand washed, so it would always be sitting out on the counter because I drink from it a lot. And when Lester was driving a bus, he would make himself a drink in the afternoon. Maggie, that's gross. Don't do that. That makes it sound gross, baby. Please don't do that. So he would take my glittery Jamie cup. It says from suits to boots. Maggie, stop hacking. It's gross. With Jamie on it, and he would drive a bus like this. So I know that he's totally comfortable with his, man card and all those things, but I would giggle as he would, try to be all like manly macho, like to all these bus moms and everything. And then he'd probably like with his glitter cup. Yeah. Anyway, tonight we are drinking Captain and Dr. Pepper Zero sugar. I don't like regular Dr. Pepper. That makes me a weirdo. I realize that, but man, I do like the zero. So since I have a tall glass, do not judge my pouring. I'm counting. Okay, that's good. It's a tall. Don't judge. That was really about 2.5 ounces-ish. It's been a busy day. I told several people today when they asked, like, hey, how's your day? And I'm like, it's a Monday on steroids, except for it's Tuesday because we didn't work yesterday, like work. Meaning that everybody tried really hard to catch up on emails yesterday, but we're hoping that no one else responded. That was like the goal, was like to dig out of the emails, but hope that no one else was going to acknowledge those emails. And that was what I tried to accomplish. Okay, let's get this filled up. Ooh, somebody has lime vodka. That sounds good with Diet Coke. Yes, or Sprite or ski or lime vodka. There's a lot of people that say, I don't like Dr. Pepper at all. Regular Dr. Pepper to me feels like when you were a kid and you went to the soda machine and thought it was really cool to get every flavor in one cup. That's what regular Dr. Pepper tastes like to me. It just tastes like a load of so many different flavors that I can't depict, and it's just so much sugar. And since I'm very much into diet or zero or anything else, like this is my treat about once a week. Not the alcohol, but a Dr. Pepper zero sugar. I've been doing my best to drink a whole lot of water lately. Some days I'm very good at it, some days I'm not, but here we are. All right, cheers to Timeout Tuesday. Okay. So, couple of funny things first. Y'all saw Lester's reel last week about him cheating. If you didn't, you should go take a look at it. I had already looked past it and I'm over it and I'm done talking about it really until I did the laundry. Now, yesterday I caught up on laundry here and I had to do more than one load, and he brought in some clothes from outside that he left piled up. And well, this is what came out of the dryer today. And yes, I know that they're upside down. If you know about said reel, then you know. But these legitimately were in his clothes. They're clean now. They're clean letters. I love that man. I love that man. But sometimes, no, I'm just teasing. So some other things, I'm looking at my notes here. All right. So I have a game that I want to play tonight. I have some animal updates that I want to talk to y'all about. I have some gifts that I need to open and talk about. And then I have a thing that I also want to talk about that I ordered because I was like curious, and we'll go down that path in a second. So first, let's talk about Annie and Annie's baby situation. We hope Annie's baby situation. There's no baby today, but Lester and I are kind of competing. I don't even know if he knows that he's competing, but I'm competing. I set my alarm for extra early this morning so that I could beat him outside to go see if there's a baby. Now, a lot of things say that alpaca babies are generally born between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. Now, I don't know if that's central time or if it's relative to where you are time or what the heck it is, but I am getting up out of bed early to get out there and check. And I'm doing a few chores while I'm out there, don't get me wrong, but that's a big motivator right now, like by far. Because typically once I get started on Zoom calls, I don't get a good enough break to be able to go in and out and like be able to check all the time. So I'm checking in the morning, and then typically I try to give myself 15 minutes somewhere around lunchtime to be able to go out and see what's going on anyway. And I may have ordered a few extra cameras so that I could look remotely and see what's going on. Guilty. He didn't even know that yet, and I don't know if he's watching this live right now, but if he is, I've totally just busted myself. I'm so excited, and I want to see what's going on. I want to catch the birth. I want to be able to share that moment with y'all. I want to make sure that we're there in case she needs help, like so many things. And every animal to us is important, but Annie is a special alpaca, a special animal in general. She's the first birthday gift that Lester ever rescued for me, and she just holds a really special place in my heart. And I feel to my core that I'm right about her being pregnant, and I can't wait to hopefully capture that moment and be able to watch what's going on and to be able to share that with y'all. So yes, I'm setting my alarm extra early. Yes, I have ordered more cameras to install. Yes, I am a little bit of a helicopter mom in the continual checking of Annie and her little baby bump. So we'll see what happens with that. But as of today, no baby. I told Lester that I would really like for us to take turns going live to be able to give the bump update. And I'm hoping that we can make that happen too. It's really about finding time right now. We're trying to do a whole lot between both properties and both sets of animals. And I'm hopeful that we'll be able to do that for y'all. So more to come on the baby bump, but we'll see what happens. Okay. So next, let's talk about Buckies. If y'all watch my video today, you know that I have some big concerns. Lester does too. And we have a call out to the vet, and we're on the wait list. And then we do have an appointment 2 weeks from now for them to come out. A lot of people on my page were really upset that it was going to take 2 weeks for the vet to come out. I want y'all to know that just like every other industry in the world, that there are a lot of shortages going on, and that doesn't discriminate against the vet's office either. And farm calls are used for situations where you can't bring an animal in, and they schedule regular farm visits plus emergency visits and leave room for emergencies. We don't feel that this is a dire emergency. He doesn't have a fever. We don't believe it's any infection or anything like that, but we're watching very closely. And if it was an emergency, that's all I would need to say. We also don't feel that bringing Buckies to the vet is the best decision, because he will be out of his element and she won't be able to see his demeanor truly in what we're talking about. So we're making a lot of videos about what's happening. We are just being very cautious about what's going on. And in the meantime, Courtney and Tegan were here today. And Courtney, as you know, is our farrier, but is extremely knowledgeable about horses and demeanors and just experience with them. So she brought Tegan out today. They worked on everybody's feet, and I have a video of that coming as well. But I have a video tomorrow morning coming about Buckies and just some of the things that she pointed out to us and noticed with us as well. He's okay. I want to make that really clear, that Buckies is okay. And we had been watching his vision pretty closely for about the last 6 months. And I had really noticed things before recently, but I think it's just become apparent now. And one thing that I did mention was that it's like when you and your partner you see each other every day, and you don't notice if someone's losing weight until it's extreme. You don't notice until someone's gaining weight until it's extreme, or you don't notice, I don't even know how bad your partner's hearing is until all of a sudden either someone else points it out, or it's so extreme that you're like, all of a sudden it starts to add up. So I don't know if I'm imagining that it's just gotten really a lot worse on Buckies, or if it's just slowly gotten to this point. But we have more to come after the vet comes out. They do have some hearing tests that they can do, and of course they can do some things with his vision, and they'll run some other tests as well. But for now, he's eating, he's getting around okay. He is his demeanor is different, and you can tell that in him. A lot of people talked about he must be missing Dixie. There's a lot of times that y'all are right. That one is not the case. Buckies and Voodoo are partners, and they don't care about a single other animal on this farm. And that sounds really awful to say, but it's 1,000,000% true. Buckies and Voodoo care about each other and competing with each other and supporting each other. And he would be lost without Voodoo. But as far as Dixie goes, it was beyond a point of him even being truly mean. She was avoiding him already. They were very rarely in the same space. They certainly didn't touch or do things. And I don't think that Dixie and Beverly are an impact on Buckies. And also to point out that a lot of this was happening before they even left. It was just in smaller doses. And it could very well have been more profound, but because everyone was here and because of all the vibration of all of the animals running, that it's just less now. So there's a lot of things that I've thought about, well, there's a lot less animals running, so there's a lot less indicator for him to realize that everybody's running. There's a lot less stress and anxiety and food aggression right now as well. So nobody's really fighting over troughs or running anyone off anymore. So that makes a big difference for Buckies too. But either way, we do need to get him checked out. And as far as if he is losing his vision and his hearing, Lester and I have to fully talk about this yet, but I would think that Texas Old Pasture or Carl's Old Pasture is a perfect setting for him. He knows it. He knows his space. The bowl holes have been filled in, so there's nothing to trip over. There's no barbed wire. There's a lot of positive things about that space for him, and it's enough that he has plenty to eat, but we're not there yet. My worries for him are, if he needs more than what that pasture has to offer, or if he gets to the point where something else physically happens to him because he couldn't see or hear. But we're not there yet. And I don't expect us to have to do much to accommodate him. I just really want to be sure that we're not missing anything and rule anything else out. So we'll see. As far as going in his stall at night, I'm not sure that that's the best thing for him. But I know that I'm waiting to hear from Rick. And like I said, the vets, I do know that eating for him in his stall is the best thing for him. And that is something that we are doing. But as far as just being in a space, he can't stand in that stall all day. There are stall mats in there, but it's concrete underneath, which is horrible for their backs. And Bucky's doesn't have a good back anyway. So we'll do what we can. And we will very much so do what's best for him overall. So I'm excited, for him that there is more space. There's a lot of people who are thinking that, the Dixie movement and the Longhorns is something he's missing, but I'm adamant that I don't think that's the case. And I also think that if it is a progressive and aggressive degeneration, that he's better off now that he has not no Longhorns certainly poking him or trying to fight for being top horse or top animal in the Biggs pasture. So more to come on that. And is Bucky's a senior? We don't know how old Bucky's is. Now the vet and Courtney say he's no spring chicken, but he's not a senior as well. He's somewhere in the middle, and that's by them basing off of his gums and his teeth and just his overall stature. So he's middle-aged. Maybe this is his midlife ordeal that he's going through, and maybe it's all a mental thing and not a vision thing. I don't know the answer, but I do know that we're here to help him and we're paying attention, and that we will see how that goes. So next up, let's talk about Charlie. So Charlie, the baby ostrich, number 3, Trey, Charlie, whatever you want to call him, out at Longhorn Lester's. He's got a foot injury, an ankle injury. I'm calling it an injury because there's no wound or infection or anything like that. He's walking around, and each day is getting much better. Lester sent me a video clip this afternoon of him, and he actually had a little hop in his a little skip in his jump, a little skip in his walk. I don't know how you say that. A little hitch in his giddy up. I don't know. Anyway, he's getting better. He's moving around a lot better. I can tell that his demeanor is improving as well. So he probably had a sprain, and I think that he's going to be fine and recover well. Probably just needed a little more rest, and things happen. I mean, if you think about their body structures and how much pressure has to be on their foot and ankle, and I mean, they're all leg with a big old ball of body on top and then a long neck, and the balance of that, I can't even imagine the physics behind that and trying to rebuild it as just like a toy even, because some of the things that people send of ostriches, I can't get to stand up for the life of me. So imagining it in real life, pep in his step, thank you. A little skip in his step. Thank God that somebody has fixed those words for me, because I was going to struggle with that all night. But he's doing really well, and I do know that their foot health and leg health is critical for them. So I was really pleased to see him up and about. So that's good news as well. If y'all watched Lester's video on Longhorn Lester's this afternoon, you will know that Marsha was found and is doing well. So that was a positive piece of the day. And you will also know that Lester found something I was hiding from him. Okay, I wasn't really hiding it from him. Lester okay, I'm going to take Lester's name out of this. I found a broody duck, and she was laying on eggs in the hay, and I couldn't bring myself to take her off of them. So I brought her some water, knowing good and well that Lester would take her off of them, and they weren't all her eggs. This just started probably 24 hours ago, where everybody decided to lay in one spot, and that mama duck was like, hey, I'll sit here. It's hot out. I don't have anything to do. So I felt bad for her, so I brought her some water, and then I walked away. Because I know that it is I know we don't need any more ducks. I know we don't need any more chickens. I am well aware. I don't have intentions of that. But I also have a really hard time with that part of farm life of like taking away things from the animals that are natural for them. So I'm left it for Lester. I couldn't do it. I can't. It's like taking away hopes and dreams. It's like, how do I explain it? It would be like Lester taking away Lex's Xbox or Lex's favorite meal after he waited all day for it. He can't do it either. For the record, he can't do that. I can't take away my baby's eggs. So Lester has to do it. That is a Lester and Jake or Ben job. That is not a Jamie job. I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't want them to think that of me. That's terrible, but it's true. So, okay. Now that we've got that update out of the way. Next update. A lot of people are asking about Elvira in the comments. I wish that I had an update on Elvira. I have not heard back from the rehabber, and that's okay. I haven't heard back. I predict that she's doing really well, but they're not required to send us updates, and I just hope for the best around that. You never know how things can spin around or turn around, but we don't know. So in my heart, she's doing well, and that if something was wrong and they needed resources or something, I put out there right away that we would be willing to help with whatever food or vet care or anything else that she needed. And they haven't called about that. So for me, that means that all is well. All right. Last animal update is Ringo. So Ringo also saw Courtney today and Tegan and had some work done. And I will share some of that tomorrow on my video, but Ringo is definitely, he's doing okay. Don't get me wrong, but his age is showing more so than ever. And that's sad for us. And he does have medication. You know, the vet was out here a few weeks ago, and Courtney definitely worked on his hooves today. Some things are just not fixable with medicine or with even rehabilitation or physical therapy. Sometimes the miles that you put on your body take a toll. And let's just say that Ringo has not been so gentle with his body. I don't know if you know this, but there was a time that Ringo would challenge Tex. And I'm not kidding about that. He would go up against Tex. There was one time when they were all up front, the very beginning of the sanctuary, and I mean beginning. Ringo wore a red collar at that time, and I'll never forget it. And the front barn was the only barn. It was actually Lester's little garage that we converted to a barn, and it was very few animals. It was Patty, Meg, Ringo, Imogene, Tex, Santiana, and at the time, another longhorn named Penny. We hadn't even gotten the donkeys yet, I don't think. But either way, Ringo was being a jerk. I mean, a flat out jerk. At that point in time, those were the times where you would get cornered in a pasture, and it could be 30 minutes if you were home alone because he wasn't letting you out. And he was strong and strong-willed, and he did not care about your size. He also didn't care about Tex's size or Tex's horns. And I remember I'm cleaning animal poop out of the barn. I'm shoveling. I probably still had white Nikes on. And I turn around because I hear smacking like this. And I turn around and Tex's horn is literally through Ringo's collar and holding him 4 foot in the air. And I screamed bloody murder because I thought this is how Ringo's going to die. And I'm the only one home to see it. I screamed like a girl, like a schoolgirl, straight up. And Tex dropped him and ran. Thank God that he stopped and ran because I didn't know what else. I don't know what else I would have done. I was straight up city girl at that time, okay? Like when I say white Nikes, I really mean white Nikes. And shoveling poop was like probably my way to attract Lester at that time to think like, I can handle this. I got this. Let me just tell you what, knowing what I know now, I had no idea what I was doing. So I yelled and it worked and Ringo got away. But those are the moments that we saw. We saw him headbutting Tex and pushing him backwards. Ringo, little tiny Ringo at that time. We have video of him out in the very front pasture when there was still a playground out in the front pasture of him pushing Tex back. So to think about his arthritis and just the physical state that he's in right now, I have to remind myself that Ringo is no spring chicken. And he also did not treat his body kindly. He didn't treat anybody's body kindly. For all intensive purposes, I still have a hole in my leg from Ringo. I can't tell you the amount of bruises and hematomas that I've had, not to mention the other animals. I mean, full disclosure, I'm still convinced that Trudy's hematoma was from Ringo. It's either from Ringo or getting kicked by a donkey. I'm not sure. But I'm convinced it was Ringo because of where it was. Ringo was not kind. And now he's kind of reaping what he sowed. And I'm sad for him because that was who he was and his demeanor. And I know he still feels that way on the inside, like of his soul. But he also, I think that he has a lot of pride and ego that's probably hurt because for the most part, he just wants to lay around. He just wants to lay around. And every once in a while, he wants to eat something delicious. Last night, I was feeding him cucumbers because I had some extras from the garden and some cantaloupe. And my moment with Ringo was very sweet. And I felt bad for him just remembering his glory days. If y'all have arthritis, you know. I have arthritis. I have arthritis in my neck from my car accident, from breaking it. And I know when it's going to rain. I know when the weather's changing. I know when I've slept bad. All the things. But I'm sad for him because he's an animal and he can't tell us what's going on and where else it hurts. And I wish that I could find a way for him to relive those glory days for sure. All right, I'm taking a drink. For everybody saying take a drink, I'm taking a drink. Okay. So I think that I have gone through all of the animal updates for this evening. I'm looking over at the comments to be sure. A lot of people are talking about Ringo's glory days. His harem, yeah, when he tried to have a sleepover and Meg flat out gave him the hard no. Let's see what else. Of course, my favorite video of all time of Ringo is a 7-second clip of Lester in the football helmet. Because it was the most raw and the very first time that I ever heard Lester curse, I know that Xander and I laughed at that video thousands of times. Still to this day, it's the funniest one. So here, Lester's like, I'm going to teach my Billy Goat the art of the headbutt. I'm a football coach, and this is what we do, whatever. And Lester turns around to adjust his camera or something, and Ringo just nails him right in the behind, and Lester drops the F-bomb, and gosh dang it, it's so raw and so real. It is the funniest thing ever to date. It's 7 seconds long. It is my favorite clip of all time. It will never be topped. I know it won't be topped. So yeah, that definitely top notch of Ringo. But there's been times where he used to bust into the barndominium. He's done all kinds of things. About a month ago, we're sitting here watching TV and I look out the window and have a freak out moment because here's Ringo on the porch. Somehow decided to get out and decided to come lay down on the porch. But still, when you see a big old horned black thing on your porch, like you have a moment of panic because it's not supposed to be there at all. But it is. So we'll see. I'll see if I can find that 7-second clip. I know exactly where it is. I'll turn it into a reel. Hopefully we don't get banned from Facebook and YouTube, because it's definitely, like, I'm serious, my most favorite clip of all times. And like I said, the funniest part about it is because I know that Lester was trying to be funny and headbutting him with the helmet, but in that clip, as he turned around, Ringo just nailed him so unexpectedly. It's outstanding. Anyway, Ringo's gonna be okay, but I do know that he's in his middle-age battle as well, and he's having a little bit of some pain and struggles, and it's really slowed him down. So if you could keep all those animals, all of them actually, in your prayers, we would really appreciate that. Okay, so a couple things. As we've, gotten Longhorn Lesters, and we've gotten some other things in our life going on, and I've moved away from Illinois from the bulk of my family, I started to, this is a little bit morbid, think about life and think about, I am going to turn 40 next week, and that's probably greater than half of my life. And what if something happens to me? Now, Lester knows me really well, and he knows all the ins and outs of my life, but Lester has a lot on his own plate. And would he remember all of the details of the things? Would he remember accounts and policies and other things? And I started to really think about, that's a lot on a person. My best friend's husband passed away 5 years ago in a car, actually a motorcycle accident. And they were not married. And I say husband, you know what I mean, like life partner. And when he passed away, he ended up getting in that motorcycle accident and being in a coma for 10 days. And he had enough paperwork that she was his power of attorney and had to make the decision of what to do with his life, but not a complete set of paperwork to be able to handle everything. So he had kids that were not with her. They had a home together. They had all of the things. And when he died, here she was left to unravel all of that. And that goes from finances to, a phone account and what you do with that. And just so many things that she was grieving and having to pick through. So I started to think about, like, how could I be better prepared? And you're going to laugh at me, but I ordered this book, okay? It says, I'm dead, now what? Now, I realize that there's software and apps and attorneys and all kinds of things that you can go through. Maggie, baby, not right now. Not right now. I can't get up. Maggie. So this was at least a prompt of what I needed to think about. I'm going to have to go let Maggie out in a second, I think. It was at least a prompt for me to think about all of the things, because there's things in here that I never would have imagined thinking to put down. And I envision taking this and putting it in an electronic format in case anything ever happens to our home and being able to share that as well. But I think that it's really important for me and Lester to, oh my gosh, I have to go let Maggie out. Hold on one second. Maggie, you're not helping. Why? Hey, hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. I had let her out before, and Lex came home for 1 second to grab something and let her in, and well, that's life. Anyway, I started to think about, I'm making a video here. I started to think about all the things in this book that are relevant, that they don't necessarily need a legal situation on, like your cell phone provider and your cloud information. So all your pictures of your life that went to your cloud, that could be gone because we don't print pictures anymore. Not just finances, not just insurance policies, but what if you have a loan on something? How do you know that? And for a person to have to spend so much time digging through to figure out what's what, on top of grieving and trying to handle a situation, I just felt like this was something I wanted to do. And so here I am turning 40 next week, and I'm going through this book of just thinking through all the things. And it talks about, like, do you own any businesses and life insurance, and where have you worked that you've had 401k policies? And then it talks about, like, people to notify. Isn't that a strange feeling about to think, hey, Lester, if I die, don't forget to call these people. And then I started to think about how hard those conversations would be for either one of us if something happened to either party, either side of us. And then it got worse, because what if, we go a lot of places together. Our time together is generally in a car, driving to pick up Lex or drop off Lex or to go get feed or whatnot. Like, that may sound silly, but we date in work settings, in working settings, basically, whether it's to get to Longhorn Lester's and do jobs there. If it is both of us that something happens to, here's our poor kids, maybe our parents, having to sort through our lives while they grieve. And it's sad. So I'm only 24 hours into having this book. I bought it on Amazon. There's lots of versions of it. And I know there's, like I said, there's apps, there's other things that you can fill out, but it sure is thought-provoking about all the things. It even has a space for, like, things you want to gift to someone, which is interesting. Your wishes after you die. Do you want to be cremated or buried? Have you bought a plot? Have you paid for your funeral? Do you have burial insurance? All these things that I'm glad that I'm handling now. But I just think that if you have the opportunity, even if you don't buy this book, like I said, there's all kinds of free things online that you can print off yourself, or you can fill out online as well. The book for me was just something I could take with me while we're driving and really think about. And I'm glad that I have it, but it has really added a weird thing to turning 40 next week as well. So, and it is a fill-in type of book. It's not a book you read at all. It is all, I'll show you here. I'll pull it up. So it's even about your medical history and, like I said, contact information and who they are. Like this right here. See that? Think about this. If something happened to me, Lester would have to figure out a way to contact my boss and say, Jamie's not coming to work today. And I think I'm a thinker. Y'all know that. I think about it endlessly. I think about the what ifs and the hows and all the things of, like, if Lester had to pick up the phone and call my boss and say that, how hard that would be. Or if he sent a text because he was trying not to have to speak about it, what would they say? Okay, thanks. Would they ask what happened? Would they think it was a joke? I don't know. Would they think it was spam or something? Because let's say that I was in a car accident and something happened to my phone, and now here's Lester texting from his phone. It's very interesting to put yourself in that situation of, number one, being the person, and number two, being the person that has to make the calls. And so it's a lot of thought and a lot of very in-depth things about your life. But as I do this, it's very important. And I wanted to share that with y'all of this is at least a guide. There's many others. But if you are any age, really, it's important to kind of write down your wishes. And your wishes may change. Your things may change over time. But in a weird way, I think it's important for someone to have some sort of map or what to do if plan. So I'll let you know how that goes. I imagine that I also will probably need a week or two to complete quite a bit of it. But we'll see what happens. And I hope that I hope that like Lester said yesterday, that we get to die in our sleep when we're, very old and everything else. But if not, I don't want to add extra burden onto my partner's situation, or our kids, or anyone else that has to handle the aftermath, basically. So that is my tidbit of information today. The next thing that I want to do, I can't even figure out what time it is. Okay, it's 7:42. I've been talking a lot. The next thing I want to do is talk about this book. I got 2 hours of my life the other day on Sunday that I had nothing to do for the first time in forever. So number one, I went and got my nails done because it was time. It makes me feel good. It is a reward for myself. And right next door is a half-price bookstore. So I bought this, 3,000 Pick One Questions. And I made Lester and Lex play it in the car with me because it's a really cool book. It's 3,000 pick this or that and whys. Okay, so we're going to play. We have some time here together, so we're going to play. Okay, and it goes from things of simple to thought-provoking, and don't be surprised if I make y'all do this several times on a Timeout Tuesday, or that I talk about some of the things in future videos, because again, very thought-provoking. Take a drink. I hear you loud and clear. Okay. First question. M&Ms or Skittles? Let's see here. So I'm going to use the Lester tool and put this on the screen because it's his favorite thing, and I know he's watching. Oh boy, how do I do this? Show. All right, M&Ms or Skittles? Okay. For me, it's Skittles. I'm okay with chocolate, but it's not the thing that I always crave. But a lot of people really like M&Ms. That's funny. I'm going to take this another level forward. What kind of M&Ms? Plain, peanut butter, peanut? Don't they have crispy ones? Dark chocolate? Yeah. Okay, I think M&Ms has won this vote. If I could find a way to do a poll, I guarantee you that people would have totally picked M&Ms. Okay? Next question. Ooh. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Flip-flops. This is for Ellie. Or tennis shoes. I, in a heartbeat, would pick flip-flops. And that's just because I want to take them off when I come in the house. I do not like to wear shoes in the house, not just because of getting it dirty, but because I was kind of raised barefoot. Yeah, lots of people flip-flops. I will tell you this. Xander's a tennis shoe kid. Lex, Ellie, flip-flops, and y'all know Lester chooses neither of those and chooses Crocs. So that's where we are as a family. Okay. All right. Ooh, staycation or vacation? I wish I could spell. So for me, oh, come back to me. There we go. I wanted to show. There we go. This has changed a lot. In a heartbeat, I would have previously said vacation. I would have loved to take a trip somewhere, explore, see it all. But now I like a staycation. I like to be home and not work and not have the thing to do. And the hustle and bustle of traveling and with what we leave behind here is a little extra anxiety than it can be worth at times. Don't get me wrong. I would go on a vacation in a heartbeat if I knew that everything was taken care of and that we had everything under control. but I'm not there yet. A lot of people say staycation as well. If you have 2 to 3 weeks of vacation, otherwise stay. Do you know that my longest vacation to date, like, is 6 days? And that killed me. I actually brought my computer along and worked because I don't know how to disconnect from that. I don't even know. I don't know. Oh. Now I want to say, before I put this next one up here, these either ors, that doesn't mean like, would you rather own them, eat them, share them, experience them? Like, it's really either or, and you can elaborate on the why behind it of what you interpret it as. So this next one is kind of crazy. Dinosaurs or aliens? So in the car the other day, Lester said, well, what do you mean? Like, does it mean that you want to experience them? Does it mean you want to own them? Does it mean you want to be stuck in a room with them? And I don't have the answer, but I think that I would have less fear around dinosaurs. And my less fear means I feel like I'm getting to know animal demeanors a lot. And to be able to be around dinosaurs, I could at least have some sort of demeanor prediction or something. And they've existed already, and we've studied them. And at least we've studied them, and it's been shared to know enough. But the aliens thing kind of, I mean, yes, I believe in aliens. I believe that those exist, and that might make me weird to y'all, but let's just say that if there was a dinosaur in the front pasture and an alien in the back, I choose front pasture in a heartbeat, because I feel like I can figure out, are they going to eat me? And are they scared of me, or am I supposed to be scared of them, and whatnot? I feel like with aliens, I've watched way too many documentaries, and I'm way too much of a conspiracy theorist. But like, I feel like aliens might have the power to like physically remove me from this earth, and that they might have the power to like take things over, and I can't be held accountable for that. And yes, I am weird in that thought. So I don't, for me, dinosaurs in a heartbeat. I can just give me the T-Rex arms. It's not like he can bend down and reach me without his head touching the ground, and I'll be fine. He's just big, and I just need to run or hide or sit really still, like in Jurassic Park, right? Yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine. Okay. Next up. Okay, this is one that I asked Lex. Would gladiator or ninja is the question. And I will say this. It could be that you either want to be one of those things, or it could be that you want to be one of those things, or that you want to meet one of those things, or you know, whatever you say. For me, is a gladiator, because what an unknown. I mean, yes, we've studied that time and we know enough about it, but I have so many questions for them versus the ninja situation. For me, the gladiator, that era of time is just, it's an intrigue. And I definitely would want to know and ask questions. Now, if it was like I had to battle either one of them, I don't really know the answer to that one. Like, I would probably just crawl in a hole and just be like, just whatever, just do whatever you want to do. Okay. Let's see here. I had a couple of these marked. Shop online or shop in store? So for me, because I have suddenly become the hermit of all hermits, man, I just lost my own comment because y'all are so good at answering these so fast. I actually prefer to shop online. I have found recently that there are so many things that are supposed to be in the store that aren't there, that I would just prefer to just ship it to me whenever it decides to come in, because I get frustrated that nothing is ever in store anymore, and that's terrible. And And the other terrible part is that my time doesn't really allow for me to spend time in a store and go to the next store and go to the next store and go to the next store. So I am an online shopper in probably the worst way, like, because I will wait 2 weeks to get something knowing that it is coming versus taking the time to go all over to find it now. I will overstock in necessities like toilet paper, paper towels, pasta, things that we always need around here, batteries, other things like that, versus waiting until we're out and then going to the store and taking that gamble. I realize that I'm very different from many people, and I get it. I get it. Oh, here's one. High five or handshake? So for me, it's a handshake. Always. Always, always, always. I want to look someone in the eye. I want to shake their hand firmly, and I want to show that I'm a worthy player in that situation. And whether that be that I'm just connecting with someone or it's business or anything else, I have what I would consider to be a solid handshake. Now, I'm not going to be like, oh, grippy and try to like manhandle anybody, nothing like that. But I have a firm, solid handshake. It's one. It's not like this. It's one handshake. Is look them in the eye. It's nice to meet you. And I see people saying that they're a hugger. I can be a hugger. It just depends on the situation. But overall, it's a handshake for me. All righty. Let's see here. Oh, here's a good one. Apple or cherry pie? Apple or cherry pie? So, I think that Lester's moderating for me and typing the things. Thanks, babe. I still lost it. So apple or cherry pie? For me, it is apple pie. I love to bake apple pie. I do like cherry pie from time to time, but apple pie is where it's at for me. It reminds me of growing up. It reminds me of picking apples at my grandparents' farm and peeling them in grandma's kitchen, and just there's a lot of nostalgia for me in apple, and I prefer apple flavored things over cherry as well. Oh, somebody says rhubarb. Okay, if we're gonna like throw down the pie gauntlet here, it is 100% rhubarb. But we only had two choices. I forgot who just said rhubarb, but whoever just said rhubarb, you broke the rules, okay? We're not talking rhubarb here this time. Yes, apple for sure for me. Oh, here's a question. Kiss on the first date or make them wait? I swear to you, I'm not making this up. It says that right here. I did not make that up. Yes. So, I think kiss on the first date. Like, oh, there's a lot of wait people. You're going to make them wait to kiss you? You're better women than me. For real. Eckert's Apple Orchard. Eckert's is a huge apple orchard from nearby where I grew up. That's a small world. Man, all of y'all are making them wait. You're better than me. Like, way better than me. Because I'm okay with kissing on the first date. For sure. Oh, make them wait only on the cheek. Somebody else says high five. I don't know if that was meant to be an answer to this question, but that's awesome. Yeah, so there's a lot of things in that for me go into that. If they didn't attempt to kiss me on the first date, I would think that they weren't interested. That's a very insecure thing. I realize that. Or I would think like, what's wrong with me that they didn't try? I maybe it's generational. I don't know, but like, and I'm talking date. This isn't like you just met them tonight or anything like that. I'm talking date that says date. So from my standpoint, like, it's just a kiss. It's just a kiss. And I kind of want it to happen on the first date if it's a thing. If it's not a thing, yeah, I'm not going to, nah, I'm good. I'm good. So if I ever had to date again, just, I guess, make note that If not interested, I'm not kissing on a first date. Okay. By the way, Lester kissed me on the first date. That happened. All right. Next question. Oh, curly fries or crinkle cut fries? This is a very serious question. I am crinkle. But they either one, regardless of it, has to be like cooked pretty well done. I like my fries crispy. I do not like soggy fries at all. This whole family does not like soggy fries. So much so that we will, if we order French fries from somewhere, we will order them well done for the sheer fact that nobody wants to have soggy French fries. And we're getting better at not having French fries, but every once in a while, you just need a French fry. It's just a thing. Like it's a thing. All right, I got a few more. Let's see here. I'm trying to find the page where I actually marked things that were relevant, because apparently I did that while we were driving and I was flipping through pages. Okay, here's the big one, okay? This actually is the last one because it's going to hold a lot of conversation. The question is family secrets or family traditions. But I want to elaborate that on a little bit more. Would you rather reveal your family secrets? Let's see here. Which one would you rather reveal and which one would you rather hear? Because I believe I'd rather tell you my family traditions, but I guarantee you that you want to learn my family secrets. It's natural to want to know secrets. Because I, in a heartbeat, would rather share family traditions. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to learn your family traditions as well. But I think that a lot of people want to know secrets. Now, those secrets might be inside jokes of traditions. It might be recipes. It might be something really neat that happened, or something scary that happened, or something that someone overcame, or there's so many things that go into that thought. But I've always asked around the holidays specifically, like, tell me your family traditions. Tell me the things that make your family unique. And as we're driving down the road yesterday talking about this, of course, Lex is already checked out at that point in time, but Lester's like, there's not a lot of people that want to share their family secrets. Every family has them. It might be that so-and-so got in a fight with the other person, or so-and-so doesn't really like the other person, or this one owes this one money, or maybe there's secrets about adoption. There's all kinds of things that could be in the secret section. And some of those secrets never need to be shared with anyone because they're not anyone's business. They really aren't. And they're best to be kept, to be honest. But then you talk about traditions, and the traditions thing is really, it's heartwarming, and it's special, and it's what makes your family your family. My mom saw this meme one time, and then she turned it into a sign, and she said, we put the fun in dysfunctional, and that is 1,000,000% true in my family. I keep that alive. As you can see, Lester and I put all kinds of fun in the dysfunctional around here. But the other part is that she said, we don't hide the crazy in our family. We give it a cocktail, we put it on the porch. Boy, that's true. We don't, I don't feel like we have big family secrets or anything like that, but we do have family traditions that are unique. And the secrets aren't so much secrets, it's just things that we don't really talk about. And we all have chapters that we don't talk about either. So this family ownership of those secrets or chapters or things, it's no different than as we are as individuals. But the traditions, okay, I got to share a few of those traditions with you. Every year as we became adults, my mom would have this day where we all make Christmas cookies together. And it was called Cookie and Margarita Day, because my mom would make margaritas, and here we are baking all day long. And when I say baking, I don't mean like we baked a couple batches of cookies. I mean like we baked cookies, like 20 different kinds of cookies and candy. And that was our gifts that we were all going to give out. We would make platters of cookies and candy and things. And well, by the time we were done, my brothers had probably we all had too much to drink for sure, but all of the icing cookies would be anatomically correct or just be horribly decorated. So it became a fun theme to see who could have the most hideous cookies. And I think that is just one of my greatest memories of my family. I see people mentioning their family traditions, and they talk about board games, and they're talking about things that they baked, and the secrets were in recipes, and their secrets weren't really all that secret. And it's just really about just like I said, chapters you don't want to talk about. It's not like these deep, dark secrets that nobody wants to share type of thing. So as I think about more family traditions, I know I've talked about this before, but on my dad's side of the family, his dad, so my grandfather, had 7 brothers and 1 sister. And when the sister got married, I think it was the sister, one of the brothers was the best man, and he was asked to give the groom a handkerchief or the bride a handkerchief. And what he pulled out was a red handkerchief. And that has been a thing ever since that wedding, probably 65, 70 years ago, that now at every wedding on that side of the family, everybody on that side wears red handkerchiefs when we sit down to eat. That's so silly, but it's neat, and it will go on forever. And the red handkerchief is a symbol of my dad's side of the family. It's things like that I hold very dear, and I hope that y'all find those things as well. And I wanted to make full circle about my I'm Dead, Now What book. There is a place in here for traditions and things that you want to live on. And as I was reading that page and then read this question in this book, I was like, I did not buy these with this intent to have this discussion. But I do want to encourage you that if you have family traditions or family secrets that you want to live beyond you, that maybe you haven't told your kids, or maybe you have, but you're not sure if they remember, or things that you just think are important, you don't need to hold out to tell them. You could tell them, you can write it down in this book so that they'll also remember. And I think that it's also important, as I've talked about before, to make a video. I'm not talking about like writing your own eulogy or anything like that. But even looking back now at when I started to be in videos with Lester, or when I started to make my own a year and a half ago, the things that I've talked about in my videos with y'all are things that I want my son to remember as well. And hopefully many years down the road, my grandkids as well, my brothers, my nieces and my nephews, Lex, Ellie, I want them to remember these things. And it's not possible for them to hold every single memory that I tell them about. But in their later lives, if they decide to, God willing that the internet and YouTube or Facebook still exist, that they can go and watch videos and go down memory lane a little bit, and the things that I talked about, whether it be things that they were included in or things that I talked about from my own childhood, that they have a path. So I challenge you to make your own videos. YouTube is free. You can post them for others to see, or you can keep it private and share the link. You can share the link in your little book. You can share the link if you do an app thing. I challenge you to pass on the knowledge that you have and to ease the burden of those that we leave behind. And that sounds so morbid for me to sit here and talk about, but I also think that it's a good reminder that we're only on this earth a very short amount of time, and it feels shorter and shorter with each day. And the older that I get, I start to, like I said yesterday, I feel like I know less. And that's a very strange thing to feel, that at the age of 19, when I was pregnant, I had less fear of the world and more confidence about what I knew than I do today. And maybe that's wisdom and getting older and really discovering that the world is small but so large, and that the knowledge is endless. But You can't teach every single thing to your kids, no matter what. And you can't remember all of the things. So make a video or write a letter to your kids, your future grandkids, your loved ones that you leave behind, or find a book or a source to be able to go down this path. And tell them the things that you loved. Tell them the things that you would choose and why. There are so many lists on the internet of this or that, or would you rather type of thing. They're thought provoking. It's as simple as mayonnaise or mustard, or what was your favorite sandwich at Subway, or what was your favorite meal? And do you want to be kissed on the first date, or do you not? And I just think about all these this or that and why, and all the things that we haven't had time to just sit down and talk to our kids or our partners about, and that life is really busy and passes us by. And with so much craziness going on in the world, couldn't we just simplify it and talk about things like this that bring us joy, and why we would choose one thing versus the other? And I just thought that I would pass that along to y'all, especially if you're having a bad day. You can get lost in a this or that, and it may be one page that takes you down a memory lane that you have totally forgot about, or that you've never thought about, would I do this or would I do that? And if it's not something that you're writing down for your kids or making a video of or anything like that, then maybe it's just a conversation with your partner or with a friend. Either way, it's something besides all the crazy things that are going on in the world, and it's a lot less stress too. So I hope that you have enjoyed this Timeout Tuesday as much as I have. I really am shocked by how many people would wait. And maybe you're just fibbing online about waiting. Maybe you just want to put on that modest thing, because I'll be honest, I've been that girl too. I'm like, I would never. Yes, I absolutely would. But I also am shocked by how many of y'all chose M&Ms over Skittles and aliens over dinosaurs. But it was really fun tonight, and I'm so blessed that y'all are part of my life and allow me to just hang out with you on Tuesday nights, and for joining me each and every time. So I hope y'all have a really safe and wonderful evening, and I hope that you know how much I love you. Have a good night.